Charles, do you know today is the 55th anniversary of the moon landing? 55 years later. 55 years later. 55 years later. Quadruple taxed on your income, paying for gas, more expensive than ever, flying on a plane, get your ass reamed by strangers and their fingers going inside of you. That's like 55 years. 55 years later, that's what it's like. Imagine that. Yeah, we did it. We beat the Russians and the Chinese or something. I don't know what it was. We beat the Russians and the Chinese. 55 years of quadruple taxes and punishments. Punishment of having children or families, depending on who you are, kind of. Gas. Hey, we're going to the moon. 55 years later. Oh man, the gas prices are surging right now. Now listen to me. Listen to me right now. If you went back in time and you showed all the patriots that were cheering for the moon landing and looking at the phone calls, the landline to the moon and all that stuff, if you showed them 55 years later, they'd still be paying for gas, I'll tell you there would have been a war. There would have been a lot of crosses on the streets. It would have been the most total war you could have ever imagined if people could have seen. I mean, you could say that about anyone at all. The Normandy boys. Hey, you should see this. You're just a time operation. You're on the beach of Normandy. You're in the boat. You say, hey, Sonny. Hey, where'd you come from? No, take a look at this. This is the future. You know what would happen? Tossing all the grenades. That's what would have happened. Did you hear what I just said with those sound effects and those motions? That's what they would have done. You show anyone that, it would have been straight up last Boy Scout. Every single one of them. You can apply that to anything, which is too scary. You may not want to. But it is a magic lens. That little device we just compared, we just juxtaposed. Anything at all. You can apply it to anything. People don't really have the proper metrics to really get things in perspective. They can't comprehend the proper metrics, mostly. 55 years later. 55 years later. 55 years later. If everyone clapping for the moon landing 55 years later, if they would have seen the prices for groceries 55 years from then, it would have been a cataclysm. A cataclysm would have went down. There wouldn't be one standing building in the entire world, the entire country. It'd be a straight up cataclysm if people saw. Yeah, you know your groceries are going to be like, I don't know, like $1,000 a month. Say, build the crosses now. That's what they would have said back then if you would have showed them. Sick, isn't it? The system is revealed right now. It really is. People see it now. I'm intrigued by it. I forget where I saw it. It was some sort of statement about free energy and it being banned due to like economic implications or something like that. I saw that floating around on Twitter and I was like, wow. People are starting to dig up Nimrod's system and put it into perspective. It's just good. It's just not something you really worry too much about. Let other people worry about it, honestly. People are starting to understand, which is, I don't know, it's kind of scary. But best not be scared about anything. What is there to be scared about? It's crazy. What's next? Better off not knowing. We all know. We all know the future, but you can't be afraid of that stuff. We're just putting things in perspective, but I like people finally seeing a system in which impedes life and eats as much life as possible. It's a system of enslavement. It's required because if the slaves get too uppity, they build crosses. You know what I'm saying? Wooden crosses. It's crazy to think. Space. When are we going to space? Another 50 years we're going to space? It's a sick system we're in, man. It's a really sick system. God almighty. People don't get it, man. People don't get it. People don't get it. They do not get what politics really is. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What do I know either? It's easy to do. It's just the system. The system that you live in amplifies the difficult in the brain and diminishes the discipline, generally speaking. So whatever is difficult in your brain is amplified by the way the world conditions you to cope and force yourself to find happiness in slavery. Let me just put it that way. I don't mean to be demoralizing with that language. But hey, Trent Reznor was right. Back in the Filter and Marilyn Manson days on Broken. God, those were the days, weren't they? Those were the days. Recently became aware of the spirit and how it's something completely separate from the mind and body, but I don't know how to grow my spiritual strength. Do you have any experience with this and advice on growing my spiritual defense? That's a good one. I can't speak to the separateness or unity of I can't speak exactly with an authority that I'd like to. I just know that your brain you're not your brain, and what I was saying with the conditioning of amplifying the hard things and addictions, it's very much just warfare to consider, but it's a spiritual one because it's invisible and you don't know any better inherently, or you're not taught any better because those who teach any better are removed from your life. Spiritual armor, okay, is necessary to bear the things we face in this world. All right. Being aware of the system you live in that amplifies the difficult in your life and eats your life. Try not to be scary or demoralizing. It just impedes. It's just let it be a reminder that there are things in life that make it artificially hard for you. So you need to have the discipline to love yourself better. You understand? I would say that. I would say that's the moral of that story. A lot of sabotage happens in your life, in this life. It requires discipline. Discipline to push away either thoughts that aren't your own or bad thoughts. Demoralizing, depressing, just generally not like, hey, you should shoot all that. Look, I'm not. Generally speaking. Just bad thoughts, negative thoughts that bring you down. Those thoughts aren't your own. Those thoughts are the children of the system that you live in, my friend. Honestly. And the fruits of the labor of the teachers in your life. Requires discipline and awareness to forgive others as well as yourself. How can one deserve forgiveness themselves if they're not able to forgive others? Of course. But how is someone deserving of forgiveness when they're not able to forgive themselves? And that's a nebulous concept. It's a nebulous thing. Unless you have good examples for it immediately. Goblin Man, thanks for the 10 bones, pal. All religions teach devotion. I like devotion. A daily practice. That sounds so good. Dedicate time to meditating on the wise teachings of the past and do your best to move your spirit through prayer. It is the only tool we have. I'll tell you. This is how you pray continually, not by offering prayer in words, but by joining yourself to God through your whole way of life. So your life becomes a continuous and uninterrupted prayer. Translation on that one, but it's less nebulous as the years go by. We've been talking about praying 24/7 for years and years, but you have to kind of be wise to do it. You can't be like a bust out. But there's something to be said about that continuous dance, the continuous wormhole, the continuous timeline. You can see your steps in front of you, like Beat It. Remember the music video? Let's say if you're I don't know, dicking around or something, you need to go up and do something. You see the footsteps there. You know the right wormhole you should be on. I don't know, maybe it just depends where you're at or how possessed you are. Building your house, your spirit and faith on a rock rather than the sand. The rock has been and always will be there. The rock has stood the test of time. Stability is not found through the flesh. Ain't that the truth? It seems like the most important quest. It seems like the purpose of life is to slide into that step where it's a continuous prayer, the continuous reverence and respect for your creation, or rather a respect for your talents or your strengths, and a holy duty to realize those. A duty to express, your gifts. You got to put it a bunch of different ways until something clicks or is codified more essentially. Know what I'm saying?